On this episode of the Blue Stable Podcast, we have a very special guest joining the show today with myself and Destin Adams. Let's learn a little bit more about this guy. He is a player of the Indianapolis Colts. Let's learn a little bit more about this guy, and let's see what he's talking about on this edition of the Blue Stable Podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome back to this special episode of the Blue Stable Podcast. As always, you know what it is. My name is Michael Pevia. Joined by me is Destin Adams. Rashad, unfortunately, can't make it for this one, guys, but you already know. We have a very special guest filling his shoes. And Rashad's shoes are pretty big to fill, but I think this guy has potentially bigger feet than Rashad. So, and probably better, more expensive shoes than Rashad wears, maybe, of course. But Destin, before we get into it and introduce our special guest, how you feeling, man?
I'm doing good. I feel like people understood that I was not the one with the more expensive shoes. I bet I can give this guest a run for his money in bigger feet. I have size 14. We'll have to ask him to make sure, but I feel like I could still have the biggest feet in the Zoom room.
Hey, man, I'm 11 and a half. I feel pretty good, but we're not here to discuss our feet, okay? The fans are not here to hear about Destin's toes or anything, okay? That's for a different show out there in the Twitter world. But let me go ahead and get right to it, guys. We got a very special guest, football player for the Indianapolis Colts, the middle linebacker, Stanford alum, Bobby Okereke. What's up, Bobby?
What's up, brother? How we doing?
I'm doing good. I'm bringing the energy. I hope you are, man.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Let's line it up. We're ready to play right now, huh?
Man, Bobby, listening to your voice, man, I feel like we're about to go on the field and do some drills right now, man. I'm excited. I got my Gatorade bottle here and everything. Let's go. I'm dressed for work. I feel like I need to get into a tank top and some shorts, brother. Let's go. But anyways, Bobby, again, Indianapolis Colts middle linebacker Bobby Okereke joining the Blue Stable Podcast. Real quick, just to get things going, man, how are you feeling today on Tuesday?
Feeling great. It's amazing Memorial Day weekend. Honor the ones who served us. Really just provided us the freedoms we have today. Got to go to my sister's graduation. She just graduated from Harvard on Thursday, so that was exciting. And I was at the Indy 500 this weekend. Got to hang out in the pagoda, meet Governor Holcomb. So it was really an incredible weekend.
Man, your household is out here producing some Ivy League kids, huh?
Yeah, we definitely do what we can. My oldest sister went to USC, and my second sister went to Vanderbilt. So I think my little sister just tried to one-up all of us by going to Harvard.
Hey, there's always got to be one, right?
For sure.
Hey, man, that's a beautiful thing. Got the siblings trying to one-up each other in college. You love to see it, man. The first question we have for you, Bobby, is going to be, obviously, there's a new quarterback in town for the Indianapolis Colts, and this is really going to be our only offensive question for you today because obviously you play defense, so we're not going to talk about Jonathan Taylor and everything, but I do want to ask you about what are your early impressions so far, having Matt Ryan in the building, new quarterback, guy in town. Y'all have obviously started some non-padded practice, but what have been your early impressions of Matt Ryan thus far?
Yeah, he's been great and really sharp from day one. Just comes in, great energy every day as a leader. He's in the locker room, in the weight room. Just honestly one of the hardest workers. And on the field, he's a savvy vet. He's looking guys off in coverage. He's just very skilled. And when you talk, he's very wise. I mean, the guy's like a 15, 20-year plus vet. So it's just honestly a blessing to have him in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Ryan's been around for a while. I know I was pretty pumped when that deal went down as well. But like Michael said, we're going to go more towards the defensive side of the ball where your expertise kind of goes. We're going to see a lot of changes over there this next year. This is going to be the first time in your NFL career that not only are you getting a new defensive coordinator, but also a new linebacker coach. How has your preparation had to change a little bit because of that, or anything else in that nature?
It's been good. I mean, it's a humbling experience. You come in, you got to learn a new defense. It's kind of like you're a rookie again. You're taking notes on all the coverages, just really new expectations you have from your coach, defense coordinator, all that. But it's been great. I mean, Coach Smith, can't speak highly enough of him. He's just on you in every aspect of fundamentals and technique. He's really just going to coach every play and hold you to your highest standard. And Coach Bradley comes in. He's a great teacher. He does a great job with the group, bringing everyone together. So it's been a great experience so far.
We've got Bobby Okereke. Sorry, Okereke. I'm sorry, man. It's just a force of habit.
Force of habit. No, I feel you.
For 2 years, and obviously hearing Pat McAfee say it that way, and in an epic draft announcement, man, it's just it locks into your ears. But I do want to ask you, after an unfortunate, obviously, it was a lot of talk after an unfortunate 2021 end to the season. There was a lot of talk on Twitter. There was a lot of talk, obviously, in media outlets. But I do want to get your perspective. I do want to get your mindset, and not really what happened, but how you guys are recovering and, trying to right that wrong at the end of 2021 going into 2022. So, after an unfortunate end and frustrating, how do you feel the defense in newcomers, the Stephon Gilmores, the Yannick Ngakwe's, Rodney McLeod's, seasoned vets and everything, played at the highest level in this league? How do you feel that they have responded to all the noise so far this offseason?
Yeah, I think it's been great. I mean, change is a great thing if you embrace it. And I think, the change with the new defensive staff, great additions in the offseason kind of just brings a new energy in the locker room. And I mean, obviously those guys, they didn't experience those, bad losses those last 2 years, so they don't really have that stain. But I think a good lesson last year, a lot of us learned, is really just to make adversity your greatest teacher. So yeah, you can feel sad about it. You can feel bad, pissed off, whatever, but really just learn from it. Learn how we got to finish stronger, and what our mentality was those last 2 games, and just watch the film and see where we can get better. And I think that's the thing about the NFL. Like teams are so tight and games are so competitive that you just got to get better and learn from each week. So that's our approach this year, and we're excited about it.
Did it feel good though to see that at Jacksonville early in the season, just to be able to try to get that out right at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously it's a bad taste in our mouth with Jacksonville. I don't know what it is going to the end of the year, playing the humidity or some shit. I don't know, but we gotta get the ship steered right for sure. So we're all hands on deck.
So basically, I'm gonna be Bobby's translator. In other words, they're going to Jacksonville and smacking their ass. That's what they're gonna do at the beginning of the year. That's what they're. I'll be your translator. I'll be that guy.
Sir, I got you. I appreciate you. Yes, sir.
So I mean, Michael set this question up well by mispronouncing your name a second ago. But so last season, you made the decision to start correcting how your name is pronounced from Okereke to Okereke. So I was just curious of how it's felt since then, making that choice, hearing it be pronounced correctly. And if you have a message to any other players around the league who have similar issues where they're hearing their name mispronounced, but they've not spoken up.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, in my case, I'm a first generation Nigerian immigrant. So my parents were born in Nigeria. My dad came here for college in the 80s. So that was the time when, he kind of just accepted that Okereke pronunciation. Like to him, Okereke, like it doesn't matter. He's honestly just a poor immigrant trying to make it in this country. So to him at the time, he didn't really care how you pronounce his name. Just give me a job, give me an education, and let me try to make it. But I think for me, where we're at 2022, especially with my name being said on TV, I just wanted to go like the politically correct route and, have people who are Nigerian who have my last name or have seen my last name, like feel prideful about it, that it's being said the right way. So, that was kind of me just being staunch about it. Just, we're going to pronounce it Okereke. But there's no hard feelings. It's not a big deal. It's just one of those things that, you just decide to make a change and stick with it, and is what it is.
Hey, I completely understand. Mine's not as big of a situation. My first name's Destin. So, I mean, growing up, every substitute teacher that would come in the room would call me Dustin, Destiny. I'll go to Starbucks still to get drinks, and the name that'll get wrote on there is every other option you can think of. Justin, Justine. They don't want to hear Destin. So I completely understood when it kind of came out last year.
Yeah, I mean, you can say a name's a name, but I mean, if your name and how it's pronounced is important to you, then people should respect it. So I think that's just a message to everybody. Just whatever identity you want to rock with and accept, people should rock with it and accept you too. So.
Support for the Blue Stable is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Just over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code BSTABLE2. That's BSTABLE2 at manscaped.com. Go and get your Manscaped products, guys. Bobby Okereke, Colts middle linebacker, joining the Blue Stable podcast. And I do want to follow up with you, Bobby, about that, because I do have an African girlfriend. I am, familiar with her family and everything. There's a lot of pride when it comes to not just last names, but first names. And sometimes it's not just the African community. It's not just that. It's anyone in particular. If you take pride in your first or last name and people mispronounce it, and some people unfortunately do it purposely. Should we bring a little bit more awareness and just flat out more respect for people's name, their heritage, their ancestors, and basically the parents that their parents gave to them?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's respect. Because if someone has that pride and identity in their name, you are disrespecting them by saying it wrong, whether intentional or not. And I don't like to think a lot of people have bad intentions, but I think at the end of the day, you just lead with respect and respecting others, then it'll all be in a good place.
Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. My next question for you, Bobby, is what are your thoughts on the new linebacker coach, and a legendary coach, that is, who has coached many great linebackers before? And man, what kind of a hell terrorizing tandem he's getting in Leonard and Okereke. Richard Smith, and how do you feel you'll adapt in this Gus Bradley scheme?
Yeah, I think it'll be great. Honestly, these first 2 weeks of OTAs have been real good. Just getting used to the system, playing in space, their coaching points. Like I said earlier, like Coach Smith, he's a demon for the details. He's really not going to let a mistake slip by, and that's what you want when you're trying to be a great player. You're trying to chase greatness. You want a coach who's going to hold you accountable. But from day one, we came in. We told Coach Smith that we're a very tight group. And, we pride ourselves being one of the hardest groups on the team, if not in the league. So, we've gone through our get better tapes. We've watched good plays, bad plays with him. So, he sees our talent and he knows we got to work on. So he's going to hold us accountable to that. And we're excited about it.
You spoke a little bit about your background in Stanford a little bit earlier. So with you attending an Ivy League school such as Stanford, you're obviously going to be someone with a very high IQ person, but also player. So how does that high IQ benefit you playing the position of middle linebacker in the NFL?
Yeah, I think that's been one of my strong suits, honestly, just being able to learn defenses fast, pick up information quickly, diagnose on the field. But it is kind of a double-edged sword. People talk about paralysis by analysis. You're thinking too much. You're trying to guess, anticipate, and at the end of the day, you're playing a kid's game where you just got to be bigger, faster, stronger. So that's what I've had to work on. Just that pre-snap anticipation, key in, use that high IQ that I have. But then at the end of the day, just play free. Play in that flow state and just ball out and make plays.
And it is a joy, man. My favorite position in football is linebacker. I absolutely love it. Sometimes I'm not even just watching the play. I'm just watching you or Darius or EJ out there. I don't even know what play just happened, but I saw that you guys made the right read, the right angle, whatever the case may be. I just love the linebacker position, man. Thank you for playing it, by the way. My next question, I do want to give a little love to your teammates, though. One of my favorite guys, especially when he got a start last year in Arizona on Christmas, EJ Speed, seeing him grow and everything. How much have you seen EJ Speed grow from the time he got here to now going into his third season?
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible. Me and EJ came in together, and from day one, we've been pushing each other, motivating each other. We both recognize the talent each other has. EJ's a starting linebacker in the NFL. This year, next year, by the end of his career, like the guy can flat out play and make plays. And I think everybody saw that the Arizona game. That was really one of his first games starting. Came in when honestly was an instant impact player. So for him, sky's the limit. And yeah, that's the way we roll. We just push each other. We motivate each other. We compete with each other every day. And yeah, it's a good environment.
I'm just kind of piggybacking off of that with the linebacker room. A lot of people around the league look at this linebacker room as one of the best, if not the best linebacker room in the entire league. So what is it about this room that you think makes it special? The guys who are in it, the schemes that you guys have been able to play with each other. And do you see a realm that you guys keep on improving together still?
Yeah, I think talent-wise, obviously you got Darius, you got me, Zaire Franklin signed a big contract. He's a leader in himself, 2-time special teams captain. He makes plays all over the field. EJ, you look at Jordan Glasgow out of Michigan, his productivity on special teams. We just brought in Brandon King as well. So talent-wise, very competitive group. And I think our cohesiveness, our cohesion, that's probably our strongest suit. It's not a lot of egos in there. We all work together. We all bounce ideas off each other. And we honestly all want to make each other better. So yeah, with that talent and, that cohesion, we just keep a competitive mindset and, realize iron sharpens iron. So I can't be my best self if you're not your best self pushing me to be better. So, we just keep that approach and, keep it rolling.
Staying in the linebacker room here a little bit, Bobby, starting now with Zaire Franklin, who was obviously re-signed, obviously to a deserving contract. It is often said that Zaire Franklin is a vocal leader in the locker room, and he's big as a vocal leader. But coming from his teammate, yourself, you're with him every day. You're obviously close. Y'all are in the same position, the same meeting rooms, whatever the case may be. I do want to get your perspective on how impactful Zaire has been for the locker room, but not only just that, in his teammates' lives as well, on a little bit of a personal level.
Yeah. I think the first thing you learn about Z is just he's a high integrity guy. He's a leader and he's a role model. So, younger guys, naturally gravitate towards him in the locker room. He just does stuff right. He sets a good example. He's a hard worker. He's strong. He loves to hit. So, he's kind of like your consummate pro, like the epitome of what you want out of a football player, just hard-nosed, hard-working, humble. And the guy produces. He comes in on game day, makes big plays, big hits, splash plays and all that. So, he does a great job. And he's a very humble guy and down to earth. So I think that's probably one of his best, qualities as a leader. He can reach anybody.
Chris Bauer in the front office kept an active offseason going. Obviously, the Matt Ryan deal we kind of talked about earlier, but multiple defensive guys coming in with already pretty productive careers. We have a guy like Yannick being added to the edge rushing group. We have Stephon Gilmore, who's going to be on the outside. We have Rodney McLeod being added to the safety room. What are some of your first impressions of these guys being added on the defensive side of the ball, and just your overall outlook on how great this defense can be this year?
Yeah, really just sharp. Starting with Rod, obviously he's won a Super Bowl. He's a vet. He just walks in the building and, he's got that presence about him. He's about his business. He's leading the defensive group, and after practice, walkthroughs, extra film studies. So, he has the right approach. So he's a role model. He's a guy who does stuff right. Guys can follow in the locker room. Stephon Gilmore has that veteran presence about him. Obviously, illustrious career, but just seeing him, the way he rolls and practices in OTAs and all that, it's honestly incredible. And then seeing Yannick, just it's a lot of energy has bolstered this group coming in from this offseason. So everybody's excited and everybody's working hard. So we're excited.
One question to piggyback off a little bit on the defense and this approach going into 2022. Unfortunately, in the past few years, we have seen an area of struggle in the Colts defense, unfortunately, and that would a lot of times be in the fourth quarter, whether if it was giving up leads or not making stops in a close game, whatever the case may be, Bobby. They have struggled a little bit, but has or will that be an area of focus this offseason for you guys? Or is that more of something to where you guys focus and adapt to in the season?
I think it'll be a mentality for sure in the offseason. But it's the process is going and growing. So as we go into training camp, those preseason games, we'll work with the coaches, work on our game plan. But I think everybody really just has to take their own individual responsibility. So for me, what can I, Bobby, number 58, what can I do better to close out games? Whether it's better conditioning or better details or red zone defense or 2-minute or whatever. I think everybody just look and figure out their individual responsibility, what they have to do to get better, and that's when collectively as a group we'll grow and grow.
As we had to mention, the offseason saw a lot of change, and the coaching staff was one of those. And we saw multiple former Colts kind of added to the staff. Obviously, Reggie Wayne on the offensive side of things, Mike Mitchell as an assistant safeties coach, but then we have Colts legend Kato June as an assistant linebacker coach. Any initial reaction from working with Kato?
Yeah, I love Kato. He's a stud. Obviously, he balled out in his career, but he brings that player perspective into the coaching. So he's able to make cut-ups for us, and he'd give us tips and kind of gems of just what helped him in his playing career. We're playing different positions, so I'm asking him stuff he saw at will and different things he keyed in at. So it's been great, and it's definitely a benefit have a guy who was as productive as he was in his playing career. You just kind of help us and mold us going through this process.
I do want to take you back, Bobby, to draft night. Okay, it is you're in the draft process. You're lasting till the third round. When you got the call from the Colts, okay, you're on the phone with the Colts, and you're going to Indianapolis. Did you know initially at that moment Pat McAfee was announcing the pick? And when you and your family watched it, if you guys did watch it, what was your reaction to that epic, one of the best, if not the best, draft announcements we've ever seen in draft history?
Yeah, it was incredible. So I got the call probably like 2 picks before it on TV that it showed. I think like the 87th pick or something. So I'm with my family, a couple of family friends. The whole house got quiet. Everybody's like shh as I'm talking to Chris Ballard and everyone. So after I hung up the phone call, big eruption, everyone's celebrating, and then didn't know Pat was going to announce me, but we got to sit there and watch it. Probably his 2-minute tirade, just going in on a couple people, but the way that he really just ushered me in, he kind of from that point in time, that Pat McAfee bump, whatever, he put me on the map. So cheers to him. But it was just incredible. And it's so cool for me just being able to replay it, see it on YouTube, on social media, whatever. I think they couldn't have had a better draft announcement.
Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BStableBlue at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use BStable2. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. One last question for you, Bobby, before we let you go on with your day. You did mention that Pat ushered you in historically. He also mentioned future Hall of Famer, right? I do want to ask I guess the number one question that gets asked around training camp time, but you know what? We're going to beat everybody to the punch. Do you have any personal goals for yourself in 2022, whether if that's making the Pro Bowl, being the turnover leader, surpassing your brother Darius? Are you going to lead the team in turnovers for us? Are you going to make an all NFL team? What are you striving for this year, buddy?
Yeah, personal goals. Obviously, team goals come first. When it's conference championship, division championship, and ultimately Super Bowl. But personal goals, I was a Pro Bowl alternate last year, so striving to make the Pro Bowl this year. Striving to make an All-Pro team, first team, second team, whatever. Just want to get my name on the list. Just earn that respect to my peers. And then lead the team in tackles again. I think that would be a great honor. I did that last year, and there was a lot of pride in that. So I think those are great personal goals. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just competing with myself, competing with my teammates, obviously competing against whoever we play. So that competitive mindset, I think, is just going to drive me to be the best I can.
Amazing, Bobby. Thank you again. Real quick, if we could just have a quick second of your time after the show. Guys, this has been Bobby Okereke joining the Blue Stable podcast. We can't thank him enough. We can't thank the Colts enough for allowing us to do this. So shout out to the Indianapolis Colts that gave us this permission and set this whole thing up for us. So shout out. We're forever grateful for you guys. Y'all don't know how hard we worked to bring you guys this content, and we brought one of the better players on the team to you guys today. So again, Bobby, thank you again for joining the show. If you guys have any other questions about what kind of content is coming out for the Blue Stable, make sure you're subscribed to our newsletter, catch up on any missed articles. And there's going to be an article about this specific interview as well. So make sure you check that out. Missed shows, subscribe to the show, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, whatever the case may be. He is Destin Adams. Thank you again, Destin, for a great show. Bobby, again, thank you so much for joining the show. And I am Michael Pevia. We will see you next week on the Blue Stable podcast.